Okay, so the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, or UTRGV, is located in the very bottom point of Texas in Edinburgh and Brownsville. We are about an 8-hour drive from Dallas-Fort Worth, or an hour flight. So if you are looking to put a little bit of distance between you and home for your college experience, but still stay in the state of Texas, we're a great option for you. A little bit about the university. We have over 32,000 students. We were so excited this fall to break our record enrollment. We weren't really sure what was going to happen in the midst of the pandemic, so it was exciting to watch our enrollment numbers continue to grow. We were working with students one-on-one through virtual advising, and we had set up these multiple class formats to ensure that students were comfortable with their education experience. So it just made us feel like really validated that we were doing the right thing in the midst of this pandemic. Our freshman class was 5,600 students this past fall. Prior to that, our enrollment was 4,800 new freshmen. So again, just really exciting to see that we still had students from all over Texas and beyond that were still interested in making the trip, and that they trusted us to make sure they were still healthy in the midst of the pandemic. We are one of the top schools in the country for social mobility. So social mobility is moving around in your socioeconomic status or your income brackets. So when a student graduates with a UTRGV degree, they tend to make the largest jump in income brackets from what their household income was when they were living with their parents. We are a designated Hispanic serving institution. We do have a really large population of Hispanic students, which we're really proud of. We like to say we're a super Hispanic serving institution, but we also have services. We get this designation from the Department of Education because we have services available to help traditionally underrepresented students make that adjustment from high school to the university. So we have services aimed at helping our students that are first-generation college students or from low socioeconomic backgrounds or our minority students. We are the largest recipient of grant funds in the state of Texas. So if you're familiar with financial aid comes in 3 different forms: loans, grant, and work study. Grant money is money that you do not have to pay back. So we get the biggest chunk of that from the state of Texas based on our student population. Our president, Dr. Guy Bailey, likes to say that we are going to give you a quality education without asking you to finance your future. So we were really excited to get these rankings, the best bang for your buck in the Southern United States from Washington Monthly, and ranked 3rd among Texas public universities by Money Magazine, because the fact that we're getting recognized for that statewide and nationally shows that we are accomplishing the goal that Dr. Bailey has set for us. We have over 85 undergraduate programs, so I'm not going to go through every single one of them. You are welcome to ask questions about specific programs if you have them, but I will talk about a few of them and kind of touch on each of our colleges and schools. But if you're talking about all of our academic programs, including our graduate programs, we offer over 120 total degrees and certificates. So like I mentioned, we are located in both Edinburgh and Brownsville, Texas. So UTRGV is made up of 2 legacy institutions. The University of Texas Pan American was in Edinburgh, and the University of Texas Brownsville was in Brownsville. But those universities were pretty close together. So they decided that by coming together and combining their resources, they could better serve students. So we did that. They came together in 2015. Our Edinburgh campus is the more urban feeling campus. It's actually smaller size-wise, but about 75% of our undergraduates take their classes there. There's that covered walkway that you see in the bottom left-hand corner that goes all the way around campus. It's actually a mile loop. So that is pretty nice in those hot Texas summers or when it's raining, and to have that covered walkway. There's a lot to do within, like, a walking distance from the campus. So if you're wanting kind of that big city metropolitan feel, then the Edinburgh campus is going to be a good fit for you. Brownsville has more of kind of that lazy college town feel. Things are more spread out, but only about 25% of our students take classes there. So it surrounds a lake, so it's actually kind of cool because you have to cross this big bridge to go from one side of campus to the other. It's actually really beautiful campus. It's been rated the most beautiful campus in Texas. All of the infrastructure is underground, so you actually don't see like telephone lines or electric wires above ground. So whatever you're looking for, whether it's kind of a more fast-paced environment or a more spread out, low-key campus, we've got both of those options for you. You actually can take classes at both campuses, and a lot of our students do. When I mentioned that we have multiple campuses spanning the Rio Grande Valley. Our undergraduate courses are mainly located in Edinburgh and Brownsville. We offer a few in Harlingen, but a lot of these other campuses are like graduate research facilities. But this bus, pictured in the top right-hand corner, is the Vaquero Express, and it goes back and forth between the two campuses. It's about an hour and 5-minute bus ride, but there is Wi-Fi, so you can watch a movie or study or take a nap if you want to in between your classes. But it picks up at both locations every 15 minutes, and it starts at 6 a.m. and runs until 11:45 p.m. So I had talked a lot at the beginning about how we've had these huge growths in enrollment, right? Which is awesome. But doesn't that kind of make it sound like our average class size is going to go up? Well, we are trying to keep that from happening. We want to make sure we still have a small class size. Pre-COVID, our average class was 21 students, or our faculty to student ratio was 1 faculty member per 21 students. With COVID, things are a little bit different just because now we offer classes in different formats and we've limited seating. But to keep up with the growth in enrollment, we have opened new facilities and hired additional faculty members. So this bottom left-hand corner is a new academic classroom building in Brownsville. And on the lower right-hand corner, you see a new academic classroom building in Edinburgh. So here's a list of all of our colleges and schools. So the Robert C. Vacker College of Business and Entrepreneurship was named after the CEO of the largest car dealership in the Valley. He made the largest donation to the university to date to give our business students specifically additional scholarship opportunities. So we named the college after him. It houses our marketing management, accountancy, economics, and our thriving hospitality and tourism management program. The College of Education and P through 16 integration houses our early childhood education program, our special ed program, our elementary and middle school education programs. If you're wanting to teach high school, you absolutely can still do that. You just major in the field you're wanting to teach, and then you do your education classes your junior and senior year. College of Engineering and Computer Science houses our mechanical engineering, computer science, one of the state's best civil engineering programs. There's a few other options in there that I'm missing, but I actually had the pleasure of meeting some managers from both Raytheon and Lockheed Martin last fall, and they told me that they specifically go down to UTRGV to hire our students because they're so ambitious and they tend to advance faster than a lot of other students. The College of Fine Arts houses our dance program, including a dance education program, our music program for all the instruments, the different performance types, composition, our fine arts programs, so drawing, printmaking, painting, sculpting, all of that stuff, photography. It also has the nation's premier mariachi program. So we do offer a minor in mariachi. So the mariachi program got to perform for President Obama at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts a few years ago. The College of Health Professions has our biomedical science degree, our deaf, our rehabilitation studies, our addiction studies, communications disorders, athletic training, exercise science, several different options. Oh, also American Sign Language interpretation. One thing I want to point out is that the biomedical science degree, you actually apply for that while you're in high school. So you apply to the university and then you apply to that program. And we do have a medical school at UTRGV. So we have some early admissions programs for students wanting to go to medical school and for students wanting to pursue a physician assistant program. So check into that. It's called Vaqueros MD and then PACT, the Physician Assistant Career Track. Okay, so College of Liberal Arts has a lot of majors: criminal justice, criminology, communication, psychology, sociology, anthropology, history, foreign languages, linguistics. I'm definitely missing some. One thing I want to point out is that our criminal justice students, they get the opportunity to intern not just with local law enforcement, but also with national law enforcement. Because we are so close to the border, we are able to offer internships with FBI and Border Patrol as well. The College of Science houses all of our natural sciences, so physics, geology, chemistry, biology, a marine biology program, because we are only about 30 minutes from South Padre Island. We have a coastal studies lab, which is a fancy word for a boat, but there's research done on that boat. Our physics program actually won a Nobel Peace Prize a few years ago for participating in this like nationwide study with other universities about these two black holes that are out there in the universe, and they are merging. And this somehow is proving Einstein's theory of relativity. That's as much as I can talk about that, but they did win a Nobel Peace Prize. We have an amazing School of Nursing. If you're wanting to pursue nursing, you actually apply to that program after you've completed your first and second year at UTRGV. It's really competitive, so make sure that you're keeping your grades up, especially in those science classes. And then our School of Social Work is fantastic. We offer a fast track from your bachelor's to your master's degree. So you do have to have a master's degree to be a certified social worker in Texas. And we are a bilingual university. And obviously, since we're so close to Mexico, a lot of our students are bilingual. We've got some Spanish immersion programs that our students can participate in. So if you're trying to be a social worker in Texas, or, I mean, a lot of other career fields in Texas, being bilingual just kind of puts you ahead of the pack whenever you're applying for jobs. Okay, so with COVID, we had to develop some new class formats. We couldn't have everybody sitting next to each other in a lecture hall. So we have online asynchronous and synchronous classes. Y'all probably heard these terms a little bit in this past 9 months. But asynchronous classes are fully online, and you can do the lectures and the PowerPoints. You can go over those at any time. It's just whenever is convenient for you. Synchronous means that you actually have to log on at a certain time and that your professor is live. Hybrid and reduced seating classes are partly online and partly in person because they have a hands-on component. But just like our traditional face-to-face classes, we are definitely adhering to social distancing practices. Everyone has to wear a mask. Everyone has to sanitize their hands when they enter the building. We're making sure that our students are definitely spread out to ensure their health. And then interactive video classes actually kind of help us spread out those face-to-face classes a little bit more. This means that you have a student, maybe you have students in the classroom in Edinburgh and also students in a classroom at Brownsville at the same time, but the professor is just in one location live streaming to the other. So this allows us to spread out a little bit more and offer additional seats in classes that fill up quickly. So student success services are really important to me. College is an adjustment, okay? So if no one's told you that, it is a bit of an adjustment when you go from high school to college. Even if you were so successful in high school and you didn't have to study much and you excelled academically, there's gonna be times that things get a little bit more challenging. You might deal with some homesickness your first semester or just, kind of trying to find your community. So we've got different services to help you adjust with whatever challenges come your way. The Learning Center is there for tutoring. So if you need tutoring in any subject, you pay an hourly rate and you can get tutored. We also have, for our traditionally more challenging classes, something called supplemental instruction or peer-led team learning. These are essentially like group tutoring sessions that are part of the class, like it's built into the class. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. And you meet outside of class once a week with a student who already took that class with that professor and made an A. So they guide you back through the material, the lectures, the reading material to make sure that you are fully prepared for exams or maybe to help you out with papers that are coming up. Engaged scholarship and learning is a fancy way of saying outside of the classroom learning. So if you're wanting to participate in some type of learning opportunity that is not a lecture hall where you're in a class, like study abroad or research or internships or community service learning, then you would go to the Office of Engaged Scholarship and Learning to plug into those things. The Writing Center is available 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, virtually and in person, to help you outline your first paper or proofread your last. You might only have 3 or 4 grades in a class, and those average together to form your class grade. And some of those are going to be papers. So writing is so important. So make sure you're utilizing the Writing Center if you're unsure of a writing style, or you just want to make sure that your paper flows and is clear and concise. Counseling services are available for one-on-one counseling. There's no out-of-pocket for this. It's part of your tuition. We also have seminars and different things to help our college students, improve their emotional and their mental health. If you're not doing well mentally, then you're not going to do well academically. So we want to make sure we've got support services in place for you. If you're sick or if you need an annual exam, you can go see one of our doctors or physician's assistants at our health service centers on either campus. Again, no out of pocket for those visits. It's part of your tuition. And you can fill any prescription medications that you need refilled at our pharmacies on campus. The Career Center is there to help you draft your resume or practice your interview skills with our mock interviews. We don't just want to help you succeed academically and get that degree. We want to help you land that first job as well. And then our food pantry. So if you, for some reason, can't afford to get your food or your toiletries, we do not want that to be a stress on our students. So you go to the food pantry and you get what you need, no questions asked. We have donations and drives throughout the school year, and then we have grocery stores that donate. So we want to make sure we are providing those opportunities for our students so they don't have to stress out about finances. We also have a community garden in Brownsville where students grow fresh produce. So anytime you have an open access facility with lots of young people, campus safety is something you want to make sure is addressed. We have the state's third largest law enforcement agency as our UTRGV police force. They are sworn in officers, and they are available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they were there for emergency situations, obviously. Also, they're there to provide an escort if you feel unsafe for some reason. They're there to help you if your vehicle won't start. I can't promise that they can fix it, but they will try. And then they're there to help you retrieve any lost items. We also have something called the Campus Shield mobile app. So this app allows you to report emergencies or to anonymously report anything that you think is suspicious. Whenever you report something, the GPS on that app is so good that they know not just what building you're in, but what floor you're on and what room you're in, so they can get to you as quickly as possible. There's also something called Friend Watch. So if you're wanting to make sure you get to your vehicle, or maybe you're going for a jog around campus and you just want to make sure that you get where you're going, you can set this timer on your phone. And if you don't turn it off, then it alerts campus police or your emergency contacts that something may have happened. So better safe than sorry, right? We are ranked as the third most secure campus in the state of Texas based on 11 years worth of crime data. So that was really exciting for us. They actually ranked the top 100 most secure campuses, and Texas had 10 schools in that list of 100, so that was exciting. So college, obviously you're there to get a degree and it's about studying and your academics, but we also want you to make those lifelong friends and build your community. So we have over 250 student organizations for you to plug into. We've got fraternities and sororities. We've got interest groups. One of the ones that I think is the most entertaining is this Pokemon Go group. They're always on campus on the weekends. Apparently, the Valley has a lot of really awesome Pokemon Go finds, and I've never played that game, so I don't really understand, but you'll see people out every weekend on campus with their phones, looking for Pokemon. We also have honor societies that are university-wide or major-specific, and we have a mentorship program called Engaging Peers in College that you can join at any point during your college career. If you are wanting to play sports for fun, we have intramurals as part of our university recreation department. We also have university-sponsored camping trips called Outdoor Adventures because the Valley has a lot of really pretty state parks and federal lands. We have 16 Division I athletic programs, and we are part of the Western Athletic Conference. Our students can attend all these athletic events for free, and that's just a great way to show your school spirit and, find other students and build that community. When we are not in the middle of a global pandemic, we usually offer over 75 study abroad opportunities each year. So some of these are short term, so it's kind of like a field trip. You go with the UTRGV professor and fellow students, and you go somewhere for 8 weeks, and you take a class, and then you come back. Some of these are where you actually are kind of like like being a foreign exchange student. You go to a different country in one of our partner universities and you take classes with them for a semester to 2 years. Again, when we're able to gather, we have campus activities almost every day. So we have an app called Corq, C-O-R-Q, that students can download and they can view what's going on campus that day. So mini fairs, movie nights, 5Ks, barbecues, just ways for you to meet other students, learn about offices and organizations, and get free UTRGV gear. So we do require that our students live on campus their first year. We do have housing in both Brownsville and Edinburgh. We also offer what's called a living and learning community. So you can apply to join one of these, and then you will live in a hall with other students from your major, and you will have a similar class schedule, and you'll have a faculty advisor assigned to you, and then a peer mentor, which is an upperclassman. So that's just another way to kind of build that community from day one and have some additional accountability. So our tuition at UTRGV is one of the lowest in Texas. It's about $8,900 for the year. You can see the out-of-state rate is quite a bit higher because you haven't been paying towards the Texas education system through your taxes. So we're really excited about that tuition. The cost of attendance is like the total cost of everything. So your tuition, your housing, your books, toiletries, clothing, everything. So the range is kind of big, and that's because it depends on if you're an in-state resident or an out-of-state resident. It depends on how much you're spending on food or housing or clothes. So there's definitely ways to keep this cost of attendance on the lower end of the spectrum. And our students graduate with the lowest debt out of any other Texas public university. So our students graduate with a really small amount of debt, if any, which we love because we don't want to send you out there with a ton of bills to pay back. So if you are admitted prior to December 1st, we will automatically consider you for our merit-based scholarships. These range from $20,000 over 4 years to $40,000. So the $40,000, I'll kind of explain how that works. For 4 years, you get $8,000 to go towards your tuition, which is $8,900. So that $8,000 is a pretty big chunk. And then you get $4,000 your first 2 years to go towards your housing. If you're living on campus. So the housing range was between $3,700 a year and $6,300 a year. So that $4,000 again goes a long way to cover that housing. If you are wanting to apply for additional departmental or private scholarships, you can fill out a profile at utrgv.edu/scholarships, and it'll give you back a list of those scholarships that you can apply for. But get admitted by December 1st so that you can take advantage of our merit scholarships. We have a financial aid program called Tuition Advantage for students whose household income is $95,000 a year or less. There are some academic requirements. We have not completed those yet for fall 2021 because now we are test optional, so we're having to relook at the way we are reviewing students academically. But if you meet the requirements for that program and you've got that household income of $95,000 a year or less, then all of your tuition and fees will be covered. So we're going to apply your scholarships and your grants that you've already been awarded. And if there's any gap in those and your total tuition, then we will cover that with additional grant money. We offer flat rate tuition. So once you're enrolled in at least 12 hours, then you're paying that $8,900. So you're getting that extra class after 12 hours, that extra 2 classes that gets you to 15 or 18 hours. You're getting those for free. We also offer guaranteed tuition. So once you enroll at UTRGV, your tuition is locked. So we might increase it the next year, but yours will not go up. It will stay the same as long as you stay enrolled at UTRGV. I've got our FAFSA code down here. The tuition advantage deadline is March 1st. So you have to be admitted and have your financial aid application completed. But our financial aid priority deadline is January 15th. So it's a little confusing. The tuition advantage deadline is later because we want to give our transfer students the option to apply for that as well. But I would really encourage you to get everything completed, your FAFSA and your application before December 1st. That way you've got everything squared away for that scholarship deadline and you'll actually get your first round of awards before that holiday break. So the path to UTRGV is pretty simple. You apply online at Apply Texas. You submit your official high school transcript. We are test optional. If you have test scores, that's very helpful for us to see those, especially for TSI purposes. but you don't have to have them. So we will not punish you or penalize you for not having them. There is an admission essay that you complete through Apply Texas. You don't have to submit these at the same time. You can do your essay after you submit your application, but definitely make sure you have someone proofread that essay because we want to make sure that you can write well. So have someone review it and correct any possible grammatical errors and make sure it flows well. And one thing we're really excited about is that we do not have an application fee. So those get kind of expensive, right? But we don't have one. So make sure you get that application in quickly. Like there's nothing holding you back from making sure you get it in quickly for that December 1 deadline. So I just wanted to reiterate the deadlines I talked about. December 1 is our freshman scholarship deadline. January 15th is our financial aid priority deadline. March 1st is the housing priority deadline. I'm not sure I talked about that one. And then March 1st is also our tuition advantage deadline. So for financial aid, when you fill out the FAFSA, you might be selected for verification. And if you are, then your FAFSA isn't complete until you supply that verification. So make sure that you get your FAFSA done early. If you can, use that IRS data retrieval tool that's part of the FAFSA, because if you do that, I don't think you will get selected for verification. But make sure you do that quickly so that if you are selected or need to submit anything else, that you get it done before these deadlines. So we still are offering campus tours, but they're limited, so 1 student per tour time. So if you're wanting to come to campus, make sure you sign up for that tour time early. It's like I said, it's an 8-hour drive, so plan your trip, schedule your tour early. And then our Discover UTRGV Fall Preview, that is virtual. So those run from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on select Saturdays, and you can get lots of great information and chat with other students. So there's no reason to not check those out now because you don't even have to make a trip. If you have any questions, you are absolutely welcome to reach out to me. My email address is andi.scott@utrgv.edu. I am in Fort Worth. I am the North Texas recruiter, so I am here to help you out and serve as your liaison to the university. So please reach out to me if you have any questions at all.